into a positive situation. Good morning and a blessed morning to all televiewers of DMRTV. Of your favorite morning wake up show, Salve Vicinus on DMRTV, a program that comes up on your screen every Monday to Friday as from 7 a.m. to 8:55 a.m., where we have so many slots that we bring to you on the program. Today is Monday, the 11th of December 2023, and we will have so many slots that will characterize today's edition of the program that will inform you, educate you, and entertain you. Just as always, we will have our scent of the day, our reflection, and news in the English and Pidgin English, and we will have a sports update this morning. We will take you to a newspaper stands to see what the men and women of the print media have for us as information on their front pages this morning, and other slots that we have prepared for you this morning for infotainment purposes. So that is how we'll run from now to 8:55 a.m., where we'll call it a quit on Salve Vicinus on DMR TV. As we normally begin the program here, we'll take on our first musical interlude, which is a thanksgiving to God for making us to see a brand new day. Remember, it's not because of our might, but because of the grace and the mercies of God upon our lives. So it's on this note that I introduce to you our first musical interlude of the morning show, and when we come back, we'll unravel the first slot we have prepared for you this morning. So do stay tuned, do not move a muscle. I will be right back.
Just give me the strength to do everything what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never. Do you remember Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Show me the way, one day at a time.
A time, sweet Jesus. Good morning once more, televiewers of DMRTV. If you're just joining us, you are welcome to the program Salve Vicinus on DMRTV. We are beaming live here in the studios on the foot of Mount Feco. Like I said before we took on that first recess, we will have so many slots that will characterize today's edition of the program. We will have a sense of the day, a reflection on news in the English and Pidgin English, and of course, other slots that we have prepared for your viewing pleasure this morning. And remember, we'll have our topic of discussion as well as the access code through which you can get to us this morning via SMS or via WhatsApp. So that is how we'll roll from now to 8:55 a.m. where we'll put a cap on the program Salve Vicinus. That said, let us have our first slot of the morning show, which is our saint of the day with Reverend Sister Florence Awambeng, who will be telling us who the Universal Church is celebrating as a saint today.
Good morning, dear brothers and sisters. God has given us the opportunity to see a new day, and we are grateful. Today, the 11th of December, we celebrate the feast of St. Damasius. St. Damasius' father entered the priesthood after the death of his wife and served in the parish church in Rome. His son too became a priest and was attached to the same church. Damasius became pope and greatly condemned the Arians and repaired the Pope, who also made other improvements in Rome. He had special zeal for the purity of the faith and Christian humility, plus passion for the poor. Dear brethren, there are certain times that we reflect. When we reflect on the life of the saints, we begin to wonder, because the way the church was organized in the olden days is not now. Somebody who is a married man, the wife dies, and he enters into the priesthood. After some time, his own son too becomes a priest, and two of them are in the same parish. That is not even what is going to interest us here. What is interesting is how Damasius practiced his faith. Having been ordained priest, he went over to become a pope. Pope. For the sake of the church and the salvation of souls. He condemned all heresies, fought against the Arians. It was very, very common at that time for people who fought against the church, who practices things which were against the church. So he fought it, fought against it, built the church, increased the faith of the church, and above all, he had special purity. He had special zeal, worked very hard to see that the church was pure. And how did he do this? He encouraged Christians to live holy lives, to practice holiness, to receive the sacraments on regular basis. He ensured that he carried along the Christians, the whole church, to ensure that people understood what their Christian values were. St. Damasus did not end there. He had special devotion to the poor. Special devotion, passion for the poor. And of course, we heard that he was a very humble man. So, and it has become true that one of the easiest way to make heaven is to identify with the VIPs of the church. And who are these VIPs? The poor, the less privileged. And that is what St. Damasus set out to do. That's what he did. As soon as he became a pope, he forgot about all the things and he settled down to build the faith of the church. And he lived it by example. The example he showed.
One of the things that we are not doing, that we are supposed to do, is that if you are building your house, make sure that you prepare a room as your chapel. We are building houses. We think about visitor A, visitor B, children, husband and wife, master bedroom, non-master bedroom. What about the space for prayer? What about the space of prayer? We are constructing presbyteries for the priests. Is there a chapel in all our presbyteries? I think it's a very important thing that we are missing out. Any presbytery we are constructing, we should have in mind of putting a small chapel there. The rest. Of course, all of us cannot manage to have money to build a house. A good number of us, we are renting. In those cases, we can manage a small table, have a little place in our house, and before we pray as a family, we go there and pray with all those holy objects there. But if we are building, or we are built already, remove one of the children from the rooms and take them out and prepare one of that room as a chapel. When it's time for prayer, all of you go there and you pray there. That is holy ground. And I think that it is important for each and every one of us.
Thank you very much for bringing to us the teachings of the Bishop of the Diocese of Boya, His Lordship Michael BB. It's very important to have this place of prayer in our homes. When you are building your home, you're thinking of your closet, you're thinking of your master bedroom, you're thinking of your toilet, you're thinking of the dining session. When thinking of all of that, make sure to have a place where when you get up in the morning or when you want to go to sleep or anytime you want to pray, you can get into that place of prayer and you rekindle your spirit with God, you reconnect with God. It's very important to have a place of prayer in our homes. Right now, it's time for us to have our
Good morning to you all, dear viewers of DMRTV, and welcome to our morning reflection. For today's reflection, I would like us to read from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 5, verse 17 to 26. Jesus was teaching one day, and among the audience there were Pharisees and doctors of the law who had come from every village in Galilee, from Judea and from Jerusalem. And the power of the Lord was behind his works of healing. Then some men appeared, carrying on a bed a paralyzed man, whom they were trying to bring in and lay down in front of him. But as the crowd made it impossible to find a way of getting him in, they went up on the flat roof and lowered him and his stretcher down through the tiles into the middle of the gathering, in front of Jesus. Seeing their faith, he said, "My friend, your sins are forgiven you." The scribes and the Pharisees began to think this over. Who is this man talking blasphemy? Who can forgive sins? But God alone? But Jesus, aware of their thoughts, made them this reply. What are these thoughts you have in your hearts? Which of these is easier? To say, "Your sins are forgiven you," or to say, "Get up and walk"? But to prove to you that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins, he said to the paralyzed man, "I order you, get up and pick up your stretcher and go home." And immediately before their very eyes, he got up, picked up what he had been lying on, and went home praising God. They were all astounded and praised God, and they were filled with awe, saying, "We have seen strange things today." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Dear friends in Christ, this morning I would like us to reflect on the healing power of God, especially in the context of the liturgical season we do find ourselves in, that is Advent, a period where we are expected to actually prepare ourselves very well for the coming of the Messiah. Not just material preparation, but spiritual preparation as well. In particularly, as we wait in hope, peace, joy for the coming of the Messiah in the world. And that all these values, all these virtues are brought in to the world as we wait the coming of the Messiah. The healing power of God. Now in the gospel, through the power of our Lord Jesus Christ, Jesus cures a paralytic. He said to him, "I order you, get up, pick up your stretcher and go home." And immediately he got up, picked up his stretcher and went home. It was surprising to the Pharisees, the teachers of the law, and all those who were first-class witness to the healing power of Jesus Christ. But one thing that gets across is that the gospel assures us today about the promise of salvation. Seeing their faith, those who stood the gap for the paralytic, even without having access directly into the house through the door because of the crowd, they lowered the paralyzed man from the roof, from the flat, to the very face of Jesus. Jesus seeing their experience, Jesus seeing their faith, Jesus seeing their belief, Jesus seeing how convinced they were with that divine assurance that this paralyzed man will not leave his presence the same. He said, "I say to you, pick up your stretcher and go." Now, faced with the multiple difficulties in our lives, in our communities, the fundamental question is, do we stand the gap for others? Can we intercede for others as people who are growing, as people who have attained a certain growth in faith? Can we stand the gap for others? Those who need healing, those who need counseling, those who need encouragement, those who are traumatized, and you name a litany of them. Can we, with our faith, be convinced like these people who brought this paralytic to Jesus Christ? The power of God in healing is not something which is a mere illusion. It's not illusory. It's reality. We are convinced, we believe, and it is an assurance that Jesus Christ is capable of healing each and every one of us, and God's salvation is open to all of us as long as we dispose ourselves to him. Therefore, dear friends in Christ, as we await the coming of the Messiah, the Son of God, the Savior of the world, let us be convinced in our faith that Jesus Christ can heal us, can heal our spiritual wounds, can heal our fallen nations, can heal our troubled societies, can heal our broken homes and families. For that, if you listen to the word of God today, harden not your heart. May the Lord bless you and grant you a grace-filled day. The Lord be with you.
Father Martin J. Muka, for coming on board and giving to us our reflection this morning. Good morning to you, Father, and welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you as well.
How was the weekend?
Very good. We praise and thank God.
All right, Father. Now, we have a topic of discussion today. Should first impression be the basis on which you judge someone's character? You judge a person's character?
Thank you so much for that. That's an interesting one. It is true that the very first impression one gives or one puts in matters a lot in an encounter with a person, with a community, with an individual or group of people. The first impression matters a lot. But I won't give a categorical statement to say one should be judged definitively from the very first impression. You know, there are different kinds of people, Joseph. There are introverts, there are extroverts, and there are people with different temperaments. There are melancholic people, choleric people, phlegmatic people, just to name a few. And so you realize that, yes, at the very first encounter of someone and with the very first put in of maybe a character, a characteristic trait, a behavior, it matters a lot because that is the impression that is imprinted in one's mind, one's heart about such a person. But you realize that many people will bear testimony to the fact that as they get to know someone, as they have many opportunities of encounter, they come to realize so many things that they could not, underline or highlight in the very first encounter or glance. So I want to think that to an extent, to a greater extent, the very first impression should not be the fundamental basis of judging someone, though it's very, very important. But room should be given with time, with various encounters to know someone more, and then you get to discover. From 1, 2, 3, or 4 experiences about somebody, you can now draw, an impression about somebody which is not, heretic or which is not fallacious.
Thank you very much, Father, for that wonderful contribution this morning. Greet some persons out there.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I would like to greet Mr. James Effor, Boyertown. I would like to greet Mr. Evaristus in Atiko. Last but not the least, I would like to greet all taxi drivers in Boya.
All right, Father. Do have a wonderful day out there, and thank you once more for coming on board.
Thank you so much.
Okay, TV friends of DMRTV. There we introduce, it is time for us to introduce to you our topic of discussion morning. Should first impression be the basis on which we judge a person's character? Should first impression be the basis on which we judge a person's character? That's our topic of discussion for you this morning. The access code will be put up on your screen in a few minutes time, or you can still send in your contribution through our Facebook page on Divine Mercy Radio and TV service. Should first impression be the basis on which we judge a person's character? That is our topic of discussion for you this morning. And while waiting on that, let us take on this short break while we prepare to usher you into our Divine Mercy info. That is our news in the English language. Let us have this short break, and when we come back, we will bring to you our news in the English language.
Good morning, televiewers. Welcome to a news info on the program Salve Vicinus here on your darling station, the Divine Mercy Radio Television, this Monday morning here in Boya with me, Prince Licky. I'll bring to you news here in the Diocese of Aboya, the region, and of course out of the region. Let's begin here in the Diocese of Aboya, where Christians of the Diocese of Aboya once more gathered during the weekend at the Regina Angelorum Parish in Bojongo for their annual diocesan Advent pilgrimage, a tradition that has been in the diocese over the years, where Christians ascend the holy hills of Bojongo in memorial of the Passion and death of Christ, and in hope of being purified during this Advent period. Just like every other year, there was the praying of the Stations of the Cross, the Rosary, reconciling through the sacrament of reconciliation and Holy Mass, which was presided at by the Chief Shepherd of the Diocese of Aboya, His Lordship the Most Right Reverend Michael Bibi. This pilgrimage showed the presence of priests of the Diocese of Boya, seminarians and Christians who came in their numbers from the nooks and crannies of the diocese. Pilgrims who participated in the spiritual activity say they are living happy and fulfilled, and therefore had a message for those who were unavoidably absent. Let's now listen to an excerpt of the interview to some of these pilgrims. They spoke to our reporter, Otop Joseph, during the pilgrimage this weekend.
Name na Mayami Lizette. I come out for St. Patrick Parish, Ngeme. I feel so happy. I feel very happy because the spirituality where I know say I don't get them for here. I don't think say if I become here I will fit. You see, so even you know the station of the cross where we walk up from down here, we climb right up. At least there we meditate, we pray. You see, it don't make me. I feel happy. I feel relieved. It be like say I be get some plenty cack of my skin where I don't come now, so I don't live on for here. I don't leave all that cack for here, so I go back lighter and happier. My take-home message be say I just beg all of them, say me them try, except those them way they know well, those the way they sick, you know, because of their ill health, they don't come for join all we for this prayer for here the talk where Papa Bishop he give we today, where he been for prepare we to for receive Jesus Christ where they come in future. So I did tell them say next time they try if health worry them.
I am Dr. Tame Jude. I come from St. Charles Luanga Parish, Moliko, and I'm a member of the Diocesan Choirs Association. We are here today to stand behind our bishop and to prove to him that we are ready to walk with him in his pastoral service and to enhance the preaching of the word. So here today we have come and we have harvested the graces that at least through his benevolence the Lord has showered upon us.
I am Efufa Euphrasia from Co-Cathedral Parish, Moliko. Yeah, I'm very happy being here today. Each time I hear of Bojongo pilgrimage, it's like it rings a bell in my brain. I've always longed to be there. So I can never hear Bojongo and I don't go for pilgrimage because I know when I go there, my life will never remain the same. I always see a change. And today is a special day for me because my son is +1 today. So I actually brought him to spend a day in the house of God. And I'm happy, he too is happy that he's actually spent his day in God's house. So I say, I wish that this program, the Bojongo program, should cut every month because really it's a life-changing situation for some of us who know what we come to do in church.
This is Sumba James Karakis of St. James Parish, Ekata. So the pilgrimage of this year for Advent is very important, and I learned
Jungle over the weekend, and of course lots of experiences out there. We'll call on those who could not make it this year to try to see that their path of this spiritual exercise come next pilgrimage in Bojongo. We stay with the pilgrimage where Christians of the Diocese of Aboya have been called upon to self-evaluate and take stock of their spiritual journey as they begin a new liturgical year. Bishop Michael Baby was speaking while presiding at the Diocesan Advent Pilgrimage at the Regina Angelorum Pilgrimage Center in Bojongo. He also emphasized on the importance of nourishing oneself in spiritually and making decisions to grow in faith. Bishop Bibi further beckoned on the pilgrims to reflect on their spiritual journey as they prepare themselves spiritually to celebrate the Nativity of Christ. The one-day spiritual event was graced with Stations of the Cross, confession, praying of the Rosary, exposition of the Blessed Sacrament, and the celebration of the Holy Mass. Let's now have an excerpt of the Bishop's homily during the Mass that was celebrated at the Pilgrimage Center up in Bojongo.
My dear brothers and sisters, we don't journey. I don't come for this holy mountain in order for commit we serve, for prayer for one another, for support one another, like members of one family. And why that way, we no must relent with effort, for continue for pray, so that may God be with each and every one for we. May God be for members them for we family. May God be for the people them way we live and we work with them. May God be with we for the different parishes them way. We all don't come out for day and we join here for this pilgrimage. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, as we undertake this pilgrimage, we get for continue for Lent. Say, during this period for Advent, the church is still call upon we for detach we serve, for anything or any person where they make we for not make we serve completely available for do the things and way God the one way for do them. During pilgrimages, it help each and every one for we, for renew with commitment and the desire for inside we had, so that we'll continue for long for God. We will continue to live in the presence of God. Pilgrimages them being an opportunity where church to give them for we, for repentance, for conversion, because it invite we for leave behind the things and where we did do them, we no fine. For leave behind we all selves, and for put on a new self, so that we all go be able to encounter God and for stop for the way He want make we stop. My dear brothers and sisters, as we don't gather for this hill, for Regina and Jeroen Parish of Bojongo, the cradle for the belief for inside we local church, it be an opportunity for we for encounter God face to face in sincerity of heart. It be a time for we for make sure say we reap the benefits them way a holy journey like this one it bring them for we.
The Bishop of the Diocese of Aboya with that powerful message to pilgrims who gathered at the Regina Jeroen Pilgrimage Center up in Bojongo. Still in news from the province, 84 seminarians of St. John Paul II Major Seminary in Bachota on December 8th, Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary, received their clerical garments. They were handed to them by Bishop Fondong. The seminarians come from 6 dioceses, that's Obala, Yaoundé, Bamenda, Kumba, Kumbo, and Manfe. We'll bring to you details about this story in our subsequent newscast. The Cameroon Human Rights Commission for Southwest Branch, headed by Barrister Tambe Tiku, on Sunday, December 10th, 2023, commemorated International Human Rights Day with a walk from Malingo Junction to Molikomi Sports Stadium, together with some human rights clubs, members who are students in some prestigious higher learning institutions in Boya, like Chitekma, Fomik Polytechnic, amongst others. This year's International Human Rights Day is being celebrated under the theme, Consolidating and Sustaining Human Rights in the Future. This day doubles as the 75th Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. Let's now have an excerpt of Barrister Tambe Tiku, the head of the Cameroon Human Rights Commission in the Southwest Branch, and equally Azin Raymond, the president of Human Rights Club in Fomik Polytechnic.
Ideally, international human rights has challenged traditional concepts of state sovereignty, where rights could be violated on the grounds of state sovereignty. Today, it is a universal issue. These are rights which are alienable, and no one has the right to compromise or to violate these rights. So we join the international community not only to celebrate this day, but also to send the message that in order for human rights to succeed in the future, we must start consolidating and sustaining human rights in the future. What does that mean? It means that we need to build a concerted effort in the protection of human rights and the promotion of human rights. We must engage in vibrant sensitization of human rights. We must take advantage of geographical proximity of our partners to forge this culture of human rights. And that is why today we are celebrating with human rights clubs in higher institutions, which we managed to create over the year, so that we can take part in this, taking advantage of their intellectual capacity and also their geographical proximity, because we think that they can reach the neighborhood with their intellectual capacity. They can sensitize vulnerable people who do not understand their rights, so that once these rights are tampered with, they can report to the Cameroon Human Rights Commission. for action to be taken. So they already know that with the culture that we are already building, we are only going to reap a culture of human rights in the future.
Of course, trying to make people to be aware of their rights each time is being violated. And in the same light, the Center for Human Rights and Democracy on Saturday, December 9th, 2023 in Boya during a press conference celebrated the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. During the press briefing, an end of the year report was presented on the human rights situation in the conflict-affected regions of the Northwest, Southwest, and Far North regions of Cameroon by Mr. Berinu Kajitan. The report revealed that in the year 2023, 300 deaths were recorded in the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon, with civilians, security forces, and separatists as victims. This is a violation of human rights. In addition, the report also states that at least 15 civilians were allegedly murdered by separatists in Ebeko village, amongst others. In a bid to the end of the conflict, the report recommends that the government should release all incarcerated Anglophones and initiate an inclusive dialogue with separatist leaders fighting for separation of the English-speaking Northwest and Southwest regions of the country to end the ongoing armed conflict in the region, amongst others. Let's now have an excerpt of Barrister Agbo Congo, the president of Chad. He was speaking to us on Saturday during the press briefing.
The normal process that we do, every quarter we come up with a report, and we thought that as we're celebrating the 75th anniversary of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we decided to do it today because tomorrow is a Sunday. It's peculiar because it shows that the situation is not getting any better. We recorded lots of human rights violations, as was explained by Mr. Kajetan and Mr. Wabi. About 200 persons were tortured, about 300 have died. We had about 100 days of ghost town, about 50 killed in the far north Boko Haram, instances of arson of about 150 also. It shows that the civilian population is not being protected by the state and by the warring factions. When I mean the warring factions, the non-state armed groups in the southwest and the northwest, and equally also Boko Haram in the far north. There is a need for kind of a holistic measures by both government and the non-state armed groups to find a solution where civilians are no target, because you know that in any country the role of the state is to protect the civilian population, and wherein the state fails to protect the civilian population, the state is held accountable, meaning that even in cases where it's a non-state armed groups that commit the atrocities, the state is still held accountable for failing to protect the civilian population. It's very complex, but we hope that as we get into 2024, as we get into the 76th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the strides that we have made in building capacity with human rights defenders, with civil society organizations, with the press, with the religious leaders, it will trickle down. It will trickle down so that people would respect human rights at the micro, at the macro level. But equally also, we have done a handbook on the do's and don'ts in a war situation. What non-state armed groups are not supposed to do and what the military is not supposed to do. We have shared it to them. It's also on, and we hope that when they read some of these things and their leaders also read, they will imbibe a culture of respecting human rights and protecting civilians.
The president of Chad talking to DMRTV during the press conference that took place in Boya for the 75th anniversary celebration of the Declaration of Human Rights. And as a package we have for you this morning, these stories and more will be developed during a primetime news here on radio and TV. You don't have a nice day watching programs here on Radio Divine Mercy.
Thank you very much, Aloysius Likier, for taking us to a newsroom to give us some of the big stories that happened during the weekend. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Otop.
How was the weekend?
We thank God. You understand. It's been busy and all that, but we thank God for the start of a new week.
Of course, we thank God for the start of a new week. And today we have the topic of discussion: should first impression be the basis on which we judge a person's character? That's the topic of discussion we have today, and we would like to get your own contribution on this topic.
Seriously, I will not say 100%.
Okay.
But as humans that we are and as black people that we are, it's very difficult to change somebody's impression about you. Take it very seriously, because if I know that, okay, this is Otto, this is how Otto behave, it'll be very difficult for me to see you in another light. So don't give me that impression that it will take you a year or so to try to change. You say, no, I saw Otto do, no, but that way you be see me so. So at the end of the day, first impression, yeah, at times a lasting impression, because Otto, the way I see you, the way I interact with you for the very first time, maybe I see you on that day you were just so free to talk, and you were talking and talking and talking. I'll say, Master D boy, and I talk active. But maybe that's not you. But that's what will be in my mind. Maybe I see you on the very first day, you're dressed in a very funny way. Maybe I see a girl, you're dressed very, very funny, maybe exposing almost 80% of yourself. I'll just say, this one's on some loose girl. But maybe that's not how you are. You just feel like dressing and going out that day. But that is the impression that I'll have. Even if I see you tomorrow in Kaba, I'll say, wait up, do I wear Kaba today? So it'll be very difficult to change that impression that I have. So we should just first of all give people the impression that we want to stick in their head, because to change the first impression that you have given to them will be very, very difficult. So to me, it's not good to totally judge somebody based on the first impression, but we should always strive to give the positive side of us during every first encounter that we have with people.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. Greet some persons out there this morning.
I just want to greet in a very special way all those who buried their loved ones during this week. I know there are a lot of marriages, graduation, celebration, but I want to think about those who are mourning and those who are still to bury their loved ones during this festive period. That's how life is. Some people are giving birth in the hospital, some are being buried, some you need to see Saturday or Sunday, you see ambulance will pass, you see a car decorated with balloons will pass and everything. So that's just life. So, but I'm thinking in a very special way, all of you who are troubled, who lost your loved ones, that God knows best, and of course, He will be your comforter during these trying moments.
Thank you once more, Aloysius, and do have a wonderful day.
A better one to you.
Televiewers of DMRTV, there we have a topic of discussion on your screen. Should first impression be the basis on which we judge a person's character? Should first impression be the basis on which we judge a person's character? That is a topic of discussion for you this morning, as well as the access code through which you can get to us via SMS or WhatsApp, or you can still send your contribution on our Facebook page on Divine Mercy Radio and TV service. We still stay in the aspect of news, where we'll take you to our newspaper stands to see what the men and women of the print media have headlined for us this morning on their front pages as information. It was a busy weekend, and the men and women of the print media were busy with their inks headlining stories on their front pages. Let us have the jingle to usher us in to our next slot, which is a newspaper review. Hello there and welcome to the Slot Newspaper Review, and today we'll be looking at 5 English-speaking newspapers to see what they have as information for us this morning. And to begin with, we'll be looking at the Guardian Post daily newspaper, cherished by many, haunted by some, and read by them all. It has as banner headline this morning, at MRC elective conversion, opposition drums fresh coalition to unseat Biya. Kamto re-elected national president. Massive turnout sent warning signal to CPDM. This is a story that has been written by Moa Patrick, and you can continue reading the story on page 3 of the Guardian Post daily newspaper. At the top right hand of this newspaper, we have at maiden visit to Yaoundé, Baba II fund crusade peace, living together. This is a story written by Maureen Tani, and it has a brief which says the traditional ruler of Baba II Fundum, Santa Subdivision, Mezam Division of the Northwest Region, Fon Achiri Arengi II, has urged his kith and kith residents in Yaoundé to uphold peace and living together. And you can continue reading this story on page 9 of this newspaper. Moving on to maximize revenue collection, Cavier urges government to speedily implement new mining code. This is a story written by Mark Walter Japte, Ref 4, and it says the Speaker of the National Assembly, Right Honorable Kaveh Yege Jibril, has urged government to speedily implement the new mining code adopted by lawmakers in order to maximize revenue collection in mineral exploitation sector. He made the call on Saturday, November 9, while chairing the closing plenary sitting of the November session of Parliament. And you can continue reading this story still on page 9 of the Guardian Post daily newspaper. We also have the story for outstanding human rights defense. Barrister Ewule backs 2023 Canadian Human Rights Defenders Award, written by Solomon Tembang. And we have for his outstanding human rights defense and steadfast resolve in upholding human rights, combating injustice and fighting for the oppressed, renowned human rights lawyer Barrister Ewule Lyonga Edward has backed the prestigious 2023 Canadian Human Rights Defenders Award. The unshakable human rights defender received the award on Thursday, December 7. This was during a ceremony at the residence of the Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon in Yaoundé. And you can have this story on page 5 of the Guardian Post daily newspaper. At the bottom left hand of this newspaper, we have fruit of best customer services reliability. We have Shesako opens Douala branch. The Sacred Heart Ex-Student Association Credit Union, Shesako, also boasts of most experienced microfinance staff. And this story we can have on page 12 of the Guardian Post daily newspaper. So these are the stories captioned on the front page of this newspaper. You can pass by any newspaper stand to get this newspaper and read more on those stories. Moving on, we'll be reviewing the Municipal Updates daily newspaper next, promoting local development through communication. That is the next newspaper we'll be looking at this morning, the Municipal Updates daily newspaper. And it has as banner headline, 2023 third quarter report reveals over 200 murder cases. And you can have this story on page 3 of the Municipal Updates daily newspaper. At the top right hand, we have stakeholders adopt guide for parents of children suffering from cancer. And this story, you can read more on it on page 2 of the Municipal Updates daily newspaper. Still on this newspaper, we have Lebi Alem, Senior Divisional Officer, salutes Wabane Municipality's resilience. And you can continue reading the story on the inside pages of the Municipal Updates daily newspaper. At the bottom right hand, we have to better relay messages to population, Northwest Conciliator Schools National Language Broadcasters. And this story is on page 3 of the Municipal Updates daily newspaper. Government gets 48 billion francs to construct bridge linking Cameroon to Equatorial Guinea. It's another story that do not escape the front page of the Municipal Updates daily newspaper. So you can grab the Municipal daily newspaper, visit page 3 and read more on those stories. So these are the few stories that has been captioned. You can get this newspaper and read more on these stories reviewed for you and more on the Municipal Updates daily newspaper. The Horizon newspaper is the next newspaper we'll be looking at this morning, and it has as banner headline, Shesako storms Douala after breaking even with 3 years of operation. The Sacred Heart Ex-Students Credit Union, under the able leadership of BOD President Patrice Lumumba Mbo, launched the Douala office recently with various innovative products in keeping with its electoral promise in April 2023. And you can have this story on page 3 of the Horizon newspaper. National Polytechnic Bambui welcomes 1,030 freshmen, and this story and more you can have on page 4 of the Horizon newspaper. At the top left hand of this newspaper, we have Dr. Rudolph Fonkwa is new CMC president. And this story has been captioned on the front page of the Horizon newspaper. Visit page 2 of this newspaper and read more on it. Anglophone crisis, Chada calls for release of all Anglophone detainees. And this story we have on page 2 of the Horizon newspaper. We also have the story, Nigerian diplomat, Northwest governor discuss security initiatives. And we can have this story on page 6 of the Horizon newspaper. 75th anniversary of Uda Chelsea translates documents into 6 Cameroon national languages is a story that has been captioned at the bottom right hand rather, and you can have these on page 11 and 10 of the Horizon newspaper. At 18th award ceremony, Tumfor barrister Nico Hale calls for immediate Christmas ceasefire in restive Anglophone regions. And this story is on page 6 of the Horizon newspaper. Get the Horizon newspaper and read more on these stories. The next newspaper we have for you this morning is the Pilot newspaper, for, with and by the civil society, and it has as banner headline, affixing stamps pictures on marriage certificate is illegal, Public Independent Conciliator of the Northwest Region recount. SDF condemns the repeated late submission of government bills to MPs Joshua Osi. This is another story that has been captioned on the front page of the municipal updates, the Pilot newspaper. And we also have the story how in Speckham Foundation is professionalizing educational skills through Voticam. And we also have the story opinion a lawyer. We also have the story PSS Quen picks new ESCO at first PTA meet. We also have the story. We also have book depicts Eto's stewardship as a scam. Journalist Jean Bruno Tangnes' new book comes out today, and this is a story you can see on page 5 of the Media newspaper, and you can have these on page 3, segmented in 3 parts. Bia halt maneuver to action Camtel, and this story, that is the last story that has been formed. Thanks for paying keen attention to this slot newspaper review on Salve Vicinus. We judge a person's character. That is a topic of discussion or on our Facebook page on Divine Mercy Radio and TV service. Many people have various opinions as concerns this topic of discussion. So many people say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. You shouldn't judge a person by the first impression, he or she bad mood. You should give the person time, or you as a person should try as much as possible to know that person better. I think, or okay, let me not give my own contribution now. I'm still waiting for men on their front pages this morning as information. And we still have our sports review slots to go, and why not our PG News with Loam Valentine, aka King Jaman. Let us short break while we prepare to usher Hillary Clinton in to tell us some of the big stories in the world of sport. He has prepared a lot for us.
Will be played the record of your life. Will be played on that day. The things we do on earth, God is recording them. So the record of our lives, so will be played on that day. The record of my life will be played on that day. The record of your life.
The evil you do to people, whatever you do to people, whatever you are doing, thinking you are doing it in the dark and no one is seeing you, remember that there is someone up there who is seeing you 24/7, who knows everything we do, every second, every minute, every hour. So be watchful of what you do as an individual, most especially to your fellow human being. Thank you very much, Elizabeth Teke, for that wonderful track. Let us have our health and beauty tips this morning. And remember, as I always tell you, we bring to you this slot every day to tell you one of the simple ways in which you can look healthy and why not look beautiful. Let us have our health and beauty tips, and when we come back, we'll take on a sports update with Hilarion Clinton.
Hello there, beautiful viewers. Welcome to today's edition of your favorite slot, health and beauty tips. We are here again today to bring to you some health tips. We've been looking at a number of issues that has to do with our outward appearance at some point in time. So today, let's look at our inward appearance, and our focus is on inner wears. You know, inner wears. From the word itself, it already demonstrates that we are looking at something that is quite intimate, something that is inner, those things that you put in, and then you have to put the outer one to cover what is in. So today, dear viewers, our focus will be on how to take care of your underwears. Ladies will call it panties, and men will definitely call it some will call it boxers. God gives to men, especially to married couples. They come as a gift to marriage, and today our attention would be on babies. What are we going to be talking about? These beautiful, fragile little things. Well, we'll be talking about how to take care of your baby's face, their head, their mouth, and their teeth. And so that's exactly our focus for the day. So we'll be going straight away to look at how to clean your baby's face, the head, the mouth, and the teeth. And first of all, we have to note that before doing this exercise, you need to wash your hands. Washing of your hands before washing your baby's face, head, mouth, and teeth is very important. Let's get down to business. First of all, how do you clean your baby's eyes? That's exactly what we'll look at first. Clean your baby's eyes by wetting a cotton wool ball or soft washcloth with warm water. Wipe from inner eye to outer eye. Use a new piece of cotton wool or clean part of the cloth for each wipe. So you his eye. First of all, you wet a cotton wool or a soft washcloth with warm water. Warm water, please. I'm reiterating on this. Don't use hot water. You know that the baby's skin is very fragile, so you use warm water, and then you wipe from the inner eye to the outer eye, just like we've demonstrated to you. The next thing we are looking at is using a cotton wool ball to wipe behind and around the outside of your baby's ears. So now we are looking at how to clean your baby's ears. So you use a cotton wool ball to wipe behind and around the outside of your baby's ears. I hope you're getting expecting mothers will be enjoying this, and why not new mothers will definitely be benefiting a lot from this. Next thing you have to note is that you have to clean your baby's teeth and gums. I know that most of us are not aware of this, or some of us are aware and I find ourselves lazy to do this particular part, but it's very important for you to clean your baby's teeth and gum, just like you see there. So you clean the baby's teeth and gums using water and a damp washcloth after morning and evening feeds. So when you feed your baby in the morning and evening, use a damp washcloth to actually clean their teeth and their baby's teeth and gums. You wipe develop teeth, but with a gum, and when you have those the first set of teeth, use a damp washcloth. And just like we demonstrated to you, you actually saw a baby with a gum, you saw an image of the baby with or 1, 2 teeth like we've shown you. But when your baby start developing teeth in their mouth, many of them, then you can go ahead to use, there is a very soft infant toothbrush that you can go in for. Remember that the new teeth is very delicate and you don't want to use force. So when you're using even the washcloth, it's not, you are not fighting with the baby. Do it gently. The next thing we are looking at is caring and cleaning your baby's nails. The next thing is looking at how you take care of the umbilical cord. You wash your hands before cleaning your baby's umbilical cord. You clean the area with water. Make sure the stump is dry after bathing, like you will call it. And then you fold the nappies away from the stump. Very important for you to note that. And for the genital care and hygiene for babies, and right here, what you need to do is to clean your baby's labia. You hold your baby's legs apart and wipe between the labia with a wet cotton or softly wipe backwards. Well, dear televiewers, that's exactly what we got for you today. Remember that we are trying as much as possible to help you take care of your baby in the best way possible, and I'm sure that new mothers out there, expecting mothers, aspiring mothers, have taken note of these beautiful tips we brought for you. Hoping to see you next time when we'll be bringing you another baby related tips.
Thank you very much, Caris Okon, for bringing to us our health and beauty tips this morning. And expectant mothers or those who already have their babies, Caris Okon have told you how to take care of your baby, how to trim their nails, how to clean their eyes, and a lot more, in which she enumerated on. To 8:25 by our studio clock, and it's time for us to take on our sports update with Hilarion Clinton, who is on standby to give us some updates, some of the things that is happening in the world of sports. Good morning to you, Hilarion, and welcome.
Good morning, Joe. It's a privilege.
So, can you give us a little bit of highlights of what you'll be discussing about today as concerned sport?
As far as sport is concerned today, we shall be looking at the MTN Elite 1, home-based Limbe club, as well as we shall be also talking about the Southwest Regional League, which is set to kick off on the 6th of January. We shall also take our viewers into CAF and the Cameroon Ballon d'Or Awards as well.
All right, televiewers, I hope you are seated and you are ready to have our sports update this morning with Hilarion Clinton. Without no transition, over to you, Hilarion.
Let's start with the level of the Southwest Regional League. And in the Southwest Regional League, recall that some weeks ago, the Southwest Regional FICA Football released a timetable, a program of activities as far as the activities for these period is going to run, and they set the date for 6th of January 2024, where the Southwest Regional League will be launched. And as far as that is concerned, the leagues for the clubs that are eligible for the competition for the 2023-2024 competition are already out. We shall be asking our technicians to bring us as far as that is concerned. We look at the list there. That is the list as far as the 25 clubs that have been found eligible for this year's competition. Aside that 25, there are also another clubs, which these are the clubs that performed last year during the last season. We shall be taking you to also look at these are the now we have clubs that have just been recently promoted into the LA Southwest competition. We are looking at some clubs like at the level of FACO. We have Elite Football and Sports Academy. We also have Kamji Sports Academy, as well as Talented Sports Academy, Manu, still Manu FC. Meme Division is still to bring out some clubs that will be participating in this competition. As far as that is concerned, there is the Southwest Regional League competition, which is set to take place in the coming days, which we are talking about January 6. We are talking about January 6, where the competition will start as soon as possible. Aside that, we take you to the M10 Elite 1 and the M10 Elite 1 and M10 Elite 2 as well. We talk about Limbe and Isosa. We talk about the Limbe 2 clubs. We are talking about Isosa and Opopo as well. These are the two clubs that are representing the Southwest region at the level of the M10 Elite 1 and M10 Elite 2. It was a poor turnout for Isosa this week, as they were defeated. Isosa were defeated this week in their right by 3 goals to 2, where they were unable to seal rather, excuse me, where they are unable to seal a win there. They were defeated by their opponents. We are looking at their opponents. That match ended in a 3-2 victory for their opponents, and they were whole at home base here, where they were defeated in Limbe, rather, and that has sent them back into the fourth position of the league as far as the league is concerned. And the consolatory goals for Isosa came from players like Ari Jefta and Ikoso Joma Korat, who scored for the hometown. As it stands now, Isosa are at the fourth position of the M10 Elite 1 in Pool B with 7 points. There are the 7 points where you recall that Isosa have the objective of at least emerging in the first 4 of this M10 Elite 2 competition for this year. Let's talk about Victoria United as well, as it was rather a good outing but not perfect for Victoria United. Victoria United also had a 2-2 draw. They had a 2-2 draw with their opponents out there. Cotton Sport Academy, rather Cotton Sport Gariwa, drew with them out there, where they are unable to sail through for a victory. And we are looking at the time where Victoria United are playing these games, when they have just been reduced some points as far as the competition is concerned. Recall that some weeks back, the Homologation Commission reduced at least 6 points from the Southwest club, Victoria United, who are playing the M10 Elite 2 for some mischievous behaviors from their team. And so as well, the winning goals, the consolidative goals for a draw for this match came from Richard Nje and Njuko, as they were unable, as Cotton Sport, players of Cotton Sport like Emmanuel Mohab keep on their records to at least give their team a goal for that competition. Aside that, we take you to the Cameroon Ballon d'Or. Let's talk Cameroon Ballon d'Or, as the Cameroon Ballon d'Or is set to be on the 16th of December 2023, and we recall that the Cameroon Ballon d'Or is aimed at improving or recognizing the Cameroon players who are excellent in their level of the Cameroon competition. We're talking about M10 Elite 1, 2 players who are making waves in the football industry. We take it to our machines to give you some of the nominations there. We are looking at the nominations of the goalkeepers there, where we have at least 8 goalkeepers who have been nominated there for that position. We have some key players. We are talking about players from Cotton Sport. We are talking about some of them who are coming from Gazelle and other clubs, and they have been excelling in their club as well. We also look at the level of the next nomination. We are looking at the next nomination, the Revolution Player of the Year. It's going. We are seeing the prominent players like Atebo, Frank, Rene Boris Kache. These are players who are topping the goal tally as far as the competition is concerned. We look at the other players, like we look at the other categories of the nominations, and we have the Ballon d'Or. This is the key competition, the key category as far as the competition is concerned. Here we have Chairman Malone, we have other prominent players like Wase, we have some key players there who are also doing well, Emmanuel Mahop and all the likes. So on the 16th of December, it shall be the awards. The final winner shall be announced as well. Let's look at the best referee. We have categories like the best referee and the assistant referee as well. We take you to our machines to also bring out that the best assistant referee of the competition. We have people like Sally Eric, and well, we also have Rodriguez there. We have some key people there who will be have been making waves in the match commission industry. We're talking about the best assistant referee competition for the 2023 Ballon d'Or competition. Let's also look at the best referee now. That was the best assistant referee. Rather, we have the best coach here. In our screens, we can see the best coach and the best coach competition awards. We look at the coaches that are coming. We have Joseph Jean-Baptiste there, who is also being nominated. We have other key players like Abubakar, key coaches like Abubakar. We also have Ndumbe Buso, Emmanuel Day. There are other key coaches who are making remarkable outcomes in the level of the Cameroon football. That is as far as the M10 Elite 1 and the M10 Elite 2 competition is concerned. We take you there, we look onto the next category, and in the next category, as you can see on your screen, we look at the next category where we have the best goalkeeper. The best goalkeeper is coming at a time when we have the issue of Andre Onana. There are skeptical questions of whether Andre Onana will be around this year for the AFCON 2023. We note that it's either he stands a chance of playing for Cameroon or he forfeits his first position at the level of Man United. So those are the best goalkeepers, so the best nominees as far as the 2023 Ballon d'Or for Cameroon is concerned. Let's take you to immediately talk about the CAF Awards, which will be taking place tonight. The CAF Awards that will be taking place tonight, as we can see, as our machines, so our technician will bring it to us on our screens there. We have these are the key awards that will be coming up. The Player of the Year, we are talking about Mohamed Salah, we are talking about Hakimi of Morocco, we are talking about Victor of Nigeria. These are players. Mohamed Salah is making waves as far as the football industry is concerned in Liverpool. Hakimi, the Paris Saint-Germain defender. Victor, the Napoli attacker, also a striker rather, is also making waves as far as the competition is concerned. Key players like Mane, who was the winner of last year, is not mentioned. This is for the Coach of the Year. For the Coach of the Year, we have that of Algeria, we also have that of Morocco and that of Senegal. So there is going to be a whole lot of enjoyment and skepticism on who will be awarded this year. And one thing that as technicians are bringing us the footage of the awards for CAF this year, we note that as they keep on coming, we shall be seeing clubs that will be making waves as Mamelodi Sundowns. They are nominated in at least 6 of the categories of the CAF Award this year. They have Club of the Year, they are there for the men and women category. The Coach of the Year for the men and women category, they are there as well. That is it for the Club of the Year, the women category. Mamelodi Sundowns are there. Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, they have been making waves as far as the football industry in Cameroon is concerned. At the level of the coaching decks for the women category, their coach is still part of the awards, still at the level of the goalkeeper of the year for the women category. Their goalkeeper, Adif, is also part of the awards ceremony. And we look at the level of Interclub Player of the Year for the men category. Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, they are rather not represented here, but we have the key players of Namibia, we have that of South Africa, who are making waves as far as the football industry is concerned. And now we talk about the CAF Award. It will also feature Andre Onana of Cameroon. Andre Onana of Cameroon, he will note that he is the only lone Cameroonian who has emerged for the 3 finalist position. When we talk about that, we would recall that key players like Vincent Abubakar, Frank Anguissa, and Ajazura were nominated for other categories, but they were not sure. They were shortlisted out for the final stage. So that is it for. We look at also the national team of the year goes to Morocco, Senegal, and the Gambia. These are the clubs that have been making wave. Senegal as currently the defending champions of AFCON 2020, the last edition of AFCON, that is in 2021. Morocco as well have been making waves in the industry of football. Recall that Morocco finished the 4th position in last year's competition of the Qatar 2023 that took place just of recent last year. It was a good outcome for Morocco and other African players who participated in that competition. That does it for our sport updates as far as today's edition of Salve Vicinus is concerned, Joe.
Thank you very much, immensely, Larry Clinton, for coming on board and giving to us our sport updates, enlightening us on what is happening in the world of sport. Good morning once more and welcome.
Good morning, Joe, and thank you for having me.
How was the weekend?
It was a good one, a good rest, but the works continue.
Of course, work still continues. And today we have a topic of discussion. I would like to get your own contribution. Should first impression be the basis on which we judge a person's character?
I think it is not about the first impression, but rather it's about how you appraise the person, on what you think about the person, and even the reason why you are judging that person. You don't just judge somebody because you have seen the person and you want to judge that person. At least I think you must have an interconnection with that person, a working relation with that person, or what has prompted you to judge that person. Because it is not about just seeing you and I say, let me judge you, let me appraise you. Or it's not your function to appraise me. At least we should have a working relation, we have a family relation before you go up to the level of judging me. Aside that, I don't go in for the issue of judging people at the level of first impression for me.
All right. Thank you very much, Hilarion, for that wonderful contribution. Greet some persons before you take leave of us.
I will want to say special greetings to all the fans of the Catholic University Sports Academy and to the coach of that club who is on his screen listening, watching us right now, and also to all other fans who offer sports updates as far as DMRTV is concerned.
Thank you once more, and do have a wonderful day, Hilarion.
Same to you, Joe.
Televiewers of DMRTV, before we take on our PG News this morning, we have a couple of contributions here. First impressions are definitely important and often set the tone for at least the beginning stages of any relationship. It isn't my job, and people are capable of change, and I can misread people and their actions. I always try to keep an open mind about people. Judge seems like too strong a word here. In my head, judging someone has an undertone of finality. In fact, I leave myself open in my opinion of people because often enough, my first impression is not always spot on target. This is from Daniel from Douala, and we have this other contribution. Yes, maybe not whole after some time, but everyone does. Although first impressions are strong, you do have possible chances to flip whatever first impression you made, whether good or bad, through time spent with a person or you doing an action that makes that person's perspective of you change. This is from Gladys from Yaoundé. Thank you all for your contributions this morning. Country people them for Divine Mercy Radio Television. Remember, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday we always bring PG News for Salve Vicinus, and today na Monday, and some more time in a few seconds we go meet up Kenja Man where they on standby for tell we some of the big story the way it be happen during weekend. You go give me the highlights them the morning time, and for 2 p.m. it go come back again for give we detail the stories the way it go highlight them for we the morning time. So we'll get the jingle way, we go usher and Kenja Man in for give we what PG News the morning time for Salve Vicinus.
Special salute for Edemawe is stopped by just now. Service as Unayeram from staffman Otop Joseph. Now time for we for language to refuna for pidgin language as it ever happens. So every Wednesdays, every Mondays, Wednesdays and Friday as it happen. And for this ceremony time, we equally start with the sense story for today. Coach Purem, wait to be the sense story for today. Sense story come out now for Madame Constant, the superintendent for Tico General Kali School them. Wait it of his sense story. Say it is so. This palaver for Montolo lizards. You know, say lizard, you don't know. Say as lizard, it always shake a head so. It no means say it agree for all the way it is young. Say as lizards, it always shake a head, it always agree, say yes. It no mean say it agree for all thing where is yam as return as so. Alright, for some money time we already know, so the why we bring a reminder. Say anytime when I see King Jaman for some money time for 2 hours for Salve Vicinus, member say Turi now for light refreshment. Now for 2 p.m. that I will bring Turi for now in greater details. So just now we carry on our coach put them enter for what he be make Turi over the weekend as we start for last side for Holy Hills for Bojongo side coach put them which happen now so we Christian them as I be tell now for Thursday which happen say all the sons and daughters all the Christian them home and abroad for that's of Boya they be there for that side for Bojongo one way they did for out of the country they be the full life as it be happen so one way they did for Boya say wait happen they be gather for that side for Bojongo side for this Boya Diocesan Advent pilgrimage where it happen so for some time so that pilgrimage would it tell una so finally it happen over the weekend as wait happen Christian they be gather plenty and ceremonial for Holy Mass too. It be day after they be start with the Rosaria. After Rosaria, stage of the cross it be enter where Christian them they be go dinner by dinner they walk out all that stage of the cross them enter for forest climb hill them come up for that side of Bojongo self as na take and so for some time. Now way after the Parava pilgrim they too they be talking stick. How themselves they feel after the matter for this pilgrimage. So over 2 p.m. when I could hear wait away some of the pilgrims them, the Christians they be turned out for that pilgrimage over the weekend. When I could hear they will talk for talking stick. As whereas Papa Bishop be strong talk for your homily where it be long warm for Christian them, for pilgrim them as it happens so for that end. Just now we leave a chapter will enter for inside Manfi Diocese Coach put them. For that side for St. John Paul, the second major seminary, but on time, coach put them, wait happen. Now, they will the land just now. Matter for handing over for new vestment them. Matter for handing over sultan them for seminary and associate. So for that parava, it will be a joyful moment. It will be a moment for glad, moment for celebrate as His Lordship and Lordship's Fondong, Bishop for Manfi Diocese, he be carry out this right for these young seminary and them where they hand the investment as and so for inside St. John Paul the second major seminary but on time inside for Manfi as I take and so for that area. Members say all these seminary and the young seminary they behind them sultan the investment them na seminary and them cross dioceses them like that's of Bamenda, that's of Kumbu, that's of Beya, that's of Kumba and other dioceses too for Cameroon. We need forget Manfi SSF. Now then that's the way it takes him so where it been a joyful moment for them. If I been at that Christmas day, as when I take him so for that palaver. For 2 p.m. too, when I could hear more, when I could hear reactions, when I could hear what the Papa Bishop will tell them, Papa Bishop of Manfi Diocese during the handing over for this vestment them, and how many of them will they be receive them as we talk. What will be the procedures for you for marry time for receive this vestment so only for 2 p.m. we will bring one out in for that palaver. We leave our chapter, we carry on just now, enter for still for over the weekend. We will bring one to we will bring her today. Matter for CWA, member them. Wait happen. They be gathered for that side for Divine Mercy Cathedral, the famous Divine Mercy Cathedral, as it takes time. So all mama them for CWA, Catholic Women Association, they be gathered for their for celebrate matter for Immaculate Conception, when a big day for Mama Maria too. Wait happen for this ceremony where he be kickstart with his sacrifice of Holy Mass, officiated by his Lordship Michael Bibi. Now so where they see the mama then too, they be filled with joy. They be dressed with their country clothes. When I say country clothes, it means say na their uniform, their group uniform, as it takes Siam. So wait till be the real news for the palava. For this matter, Papa Bishop, he be dedicate over 149 CWA mama them where they will take welcome them as a Siam and that. Now they will take welcome them into the group. Remember I said they will go through doctrinal issues and they will go learn book 2 concerning CWA group. So they will dedicate them 149 of them. So for 2 p.m. too, of course, we have to hear more, we have to hear reactions as well concerning this matter for Immaculate Conception Day, where CWA Mama that's what they be celebrate them in the Mama Maria way as we talk. We have to hear more too concerning Immaculate Conception Big Day where it take place. Papa Bishop will tell we how it be start about for that matter. We go for that chapter, we carry on enter for matter for World Human Rights Day, where it will take happen for inside Beya, capital for Southwest region, as we enter just now for go see matter for human rights ceremony. As it is so, young people them through the Human Rights Commission office, they be gather young people them, especially for Lewa them, for school them, for them to say for come celebrate this special day as it takes. So they been grand march for major street them for inside Beya for sensitize the world, for tell the world say it is so matter for human rights a day. Matter for human rights, you get forget them as it takes here so for that palaver. And they be hold plenty placard them, they be hold plenty paper the way they write messages a day. So for 2 p.m. too, we hear the messages them, wait they be write them for that placard them, wait they be talk about this big day so where it take happen over the weekend. That's over 2 p.m. we now hear that palaver too so as we talk. Alright, for jam to read the morning time, wait happen for Moliko side. Remember, say a lot as I always used to tell una, and I know will continue. I know will tire for tell una for this matter for this period, this month. They so where the end wimba, especially December. Some kind strange wahala, some kind strange thing it happen for inside Moliko around UB Junction. As we tell una so, we enter there just now go see some man boy where they struggle for carry. I'm so as they say, I'm so they struggle for carry put inside motor. What it transpired, what happened. This man boy, he be there with he come with them, he friend them for inside motor as he say I'm so. That way they reach, they drive, they go, whether they come on outside, they reach some Moliko side, the man boy just jump come out of motor, open motor come out, say he just the holla some kind, one kind, say yes, I know we kill my mama, I know we kill my mama, I know we kill my mama. Now the palava they be the holla so. Whether na say na ngeso, na yawo. Oh, now we got to the pass. They ask him, "Mami, say me give in the sacrifice amu." Now only for 2 p.m. we have to hear wait till actually pass for Moliko side. There was a man boy where he did with he come be there inside motor. He just come out inside say no. He holla say no. I know we kill my mama. I know we kill my mama. No kill my mama. We have to hear for that parava so where he come be they carry the first he put inside motor for that parava. We have to hear update. That's over 2 p.m. as we bring the story for now as it day as it get for be. As it must be for some time. All right, for me, for come over here, if I come over and not talk about know your faith, then it means I try to do that. I will not know them. Now remind that just now, wait happen. Papa for Roma, for Vatican, every Wednesday he get teaching, he get audience, he get angelus with contribute them, pilgrims them, where they can work out for that side. For inside that's what boya, Papa for Bishop Michael Bibi. He own audience, he own teaching. Now for every Mondays, as we take care when I saw for that palava. What happen every Monday, Bishop the language Christian them, educate them concerning how you give a know your faith, concerning God to talk, concerning church doctrine, concerning canon law. So I say Bishop when he say is, he give a quote for canon law, paragraph this, line this, like this, as we take care when I saw for that palava. So today, for that side of St. Charles Longer Parish, for equally 10:30 a.m. Papa Bishop, he could start. German for 12 noon as he ever do every Monday. So whenever they follow it just now, any Saturday day, worry not and bother not. If you never make up a St. Charles, Divine Mercy Radio Television, DF, una prepare your questions, prepare your worry, prepare your doubt. You go wire for Papa Bishop when you go start the teaching for us to have a Charles Luanga Parish for Moliko. All right, for 2 p.m., all it will when I saw when a PG News flash for 2 p.m. we will bring up in greater details. Why no more and we'll ask for other one the day when I could hear and two when I could sabiam. That's all for 2 p.m.